Hello everyone and welcome back to Lexi's English Club. I'm Alexandra, your guide to mastering the English language with exam strategies, learning techniques and other valuable tips. In this video lesson, I talk about one of the most confusing reading tasks, part 7, a text with removed paragraphs. In this task, your job is to find the correct paragraph to fit the right gap. However, there's always one extra sneaky paragraph that doesn't fit anywhere. Do you think that you're the one who needs help with this type of tasks? Check out the 4 recommendations that I give and never worry about the CAE reading task part number 7 ever again. I can't stress it enough how important skimming is when it comes to any exam task. I know you might ask me, why would I waste my precious time skimming the text when I could be doing the task already? Well, think of it like this. Imagine you're walking into a crowded party. You wouldn't just dive in and start a conversation with everyone, right? You will walk around, scan the room, observe the people, and only after that you could start a conversation. Skimming is just like that. It gives you an overview of the text so that you could find your way around and pick out the key information from the text. Now I'd like you to imagine that you're a detective and you're investigating a crime scene. What would a real detective start from? I guess they would start from reconstructing the sequence of events leading to the crime. So let's do the following. Let's read the text again and jot down the main idea of each paragraph. To show you how it works, I used a sample text called Scottish Wildcat from the official Cambridge website. After skimming the text, I went back to each paragraph and analysed its main topic. For example, the first one describes what the wildcat looks like, whereas the next one compares to a domestic cat. You see that I've done it to all the paragraphs. I'd recommend numbering the paragraphs to help you avoid confusion. What's more, if you do a paper-based task, you might want to jot down the names of the paragraphs on the margins, or you could do it electronically like me. Remember that you can always find the links to the sample tasks that I use in the description to this video. Once you've done that, you can see the flow of the text, which will make these gaps easier for you to fill. This tip would be particularly useful for those who are just starting their detective work with missing paragraphs. And here is a little trick. Take a peek at the answer key. This might seem like cheating, but it's actually a brilliant way to learn. Then match the paragraphs to the gaps in the text. Why would you do that? Well, it helps you to identify the links between paragraphs and explain to yourself why they fit together. Let's look at the 2 first gaps. The correct answers are as follows: 41G and 42D. Why do they fit? Let's find the links in the paragraphs that go before and after. Okay, paragraph G starts with this line. It's a typical image most folk have of the beast. That tells us that the text has been talking about how people imagine these wildcats. Let's look at the paragraph before it to see if we can find some proof. First of all, do you remember what the first paragraph is about? It gives us a description of the wildcat. It's like a clue that those 2 paragraphs are linked. Secondly, check out those frame parts. They are basically describing a wildcat. For example, it's a taut, coiled spring ready to unleash some unknown fury. What's more, the reference to the cat in the picture on the wall shows how artists usually imagine these guys. Let's move on to gap 42. The missing paragraph D starts with the following. They probably used deciduous and coniferous woodland for shelter. So, who's they? It's pretty clear it's been mentioned before. Also, this paragraph is talking about where they lived and hunted, which means it's probably about wildcats. Now the question is, how does this connect to the paragraph before it? Let's see if we can find the link. The paragraph before ends with a saying that the animals, meaning wildcats, lived in a variety of habitats in Europe. That's exactly it. That's our link because paragraph D starts by describing those habitats, meaning that they refers to wildcats. Personally, I consider it a fantastic tip, especially for beginners. It doesn't only help you see the connections between the text and the paragraphs, but it also boosts your confidence and makes this task seem less intimidating. Now you're ready to solve the case yourself. Before matching the paragraphs, underline the key words in the text. This will help you see the flow of the text and identify those crucial links. Let's do this with the next 2 paragraphs. Paragraph number 4 tells us about why the cat disappeared in the 19th century, and it finishes like this. However, things were later to improve for the species, and that means that the next paragraph might be talking about how it improved for the species, and that's what you should be looking for in the missing paragraphs. Part number 5, or paragraph number 5, is all about concerns about further eradication of the cats. To be honest, I don't see any clues at the end of this paragraph. However, this shouldn't bother us, because paragraph number 6 starts like this. Part of the problem stems from the fact that, and here is the clue, part of the problem. What problem? That means that this problem has already been mentioned, and this is your second clue. This is what you should be looking for in the missing paragraphs, because one of them should be describing a problem about the wildcats. Great, now let's recap what I've talked you through. 1. Skim the text to get the general overview of the text. 2. Read the paragraphs and identify the main idea of each of them. 3. If you're a novice, check the key for the right answers and see the connection between the answers and the paragraphs. And lastly, identify specific keywords and ideas and match them with paragraphs. And remember, even the greatest detectives started somewhere. You've got this. Before we finish, I'd like to give you a few life hacks to make it easier to work with gap texts. If you're doing a paper-based exam, make a copy of the sample task and cut out the paragraphs. Imagine this is a puzzle. Try matching the parts together, bearing in mind the tips I've talked about earlier. However, if you prefer a computer-based approach, cut the text up digitally. For example, my students love using Mira. It's super handy. Find the right approach that works for you. And in the end, you'll become a master at dealing with this text, because the right approach and a lot of practice will get you there. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to comment down below. If you're interested to know more about the CAE exam, you can watch other videos on my channel. And if you want me to make more videos like that, please like, subscribe and share this video with your fellow exam takers. You can also find me on social media under the name Lex's English Club. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Happy starting!